Hey guys, this is Chidero, and today's tutorial will be on the Bora bracelet, and it was designed by Rainbow Loom _adventures. You can find her fabulous account on Instagram with the link provided below. So this is the first one that I did, and I did it just on one loom, so it is just to the sides of my wrist. This is the one that I did in this tutorial. And I had to come back and redo my intro because I did this on 2 full looms and it is a tad big on me, just a little bit. So I just wanted to say that, just to let you guys know. I just did give it a stretch, but if you have bands that don't really fall back into place, or whatever bands you choose to use, I would maybe stop 3 or 4 pin bars before the end of the second loom there. Okay, so obviously beads are optional, and I did put 6/0 seed beads on these 2 single chains, and I think it looks a lot better with these rolled bands in the center with LE bands. So let's get our supplies and get started. So the setup is first and last at the same height, go down 1 peg, and your middle 3 are at the same height as well. So I'm going to do my border in the limited edition purple. I don't know if it's deep purple but I want a dark purple for the border, and Rainbow Loom doesn't make any thick bands that are deep purple that I can see, but just a traditional border that's going all the way up your loom. And we're going to go all the way up into the second to the last pin, and then turn in, and then cover those the 3 pins in the center, just like we did at the bottom. Okay, so let's do that, and then we'll meet back here, or I'll just show you, I guess. So we're going to be coming up to this pin here, and then we're just going to turn it in, and then go to the center. Oops. So then the same on this side. That would be your last, and then you're going to turn it in into the center. Jeez, I've been flipping bands everywhere. Just like that. Okay, so we'll finish up and start our next step. Okay, so our next band placement will be those 2 center chains, and as I mentioned, I'm going to add some seed beads. So these are size 6/0 and they're just a purple. So I choose to do every one. So they're going on that chain. So pretty standard. Okay, if you don't choose to use bling, it's just the normal single chains going up. Okay, so let's put those on, and we'll meet back here at the beginning for our next step. Okay, our next step is putting zigzag bands, and it's going to start on the second peg and go down, and just follow the pattern where the band left off. You place your next, so they're all connected. Simple. traditional. And we follow that to the top. Okay, so that is this part right there. Okay, so let's finish this up, and when we're through, we'll meet back down. I think we just have maybe 2 more steps, and we'll be able to start the looming. Okay, the next part of our bracelet will be the center, where you see the scrolls, I call them, but where it's wrapped over, as well as where this gold is. Okay, so we start with the scroll ones, which I want to use my border color, which is my Ellie purple. So you go up from the left, up from the center, and then up from the right. Okay? So after we have those 3 bands placed, then we want to take a band and go out to the left and then out. Oh, that's a thick band. And out to the right. I'm sorry. I chose to use a different color. I like to use green. Out to the left and out to the right. And then we just repeat. So we go all 3 pegs up to the center, and then 2 bands going out from both sides of that center. I think it'll look nice with an LE in the center because they're wrapped or scrolled. So, alrighty, this is our last step. So, let's stick it on up so we can start looming. Okay? Okay, so we're going to start looping. So you want to place a cap band on that center peg, and I want to tell you quickly, I just did the middle part and taped it, okay, and didn't place one band correctly, so I had to take the whole center off 2 looms and then redo it, and it actually came out with a really cool design. So if you feel like doing it, try it, and you'll be surprised, just the center, what we're doing. So we want to grab our first band under the cap band and take it back to itself. And we want to do that to all 3 bands under here. So the center, and then the last one here to the right. Okay. So the only different kind of technique that we're going to do here is this next step, which is simply taking out of the 2 bands that we have in purple and mine here, take that bottom one on the outside of the peg and pull it up and over. Do that to the center, up and over, and lastly to this one on the left. And that is what will give you that scrolled look in the center of your bracelet. So after we do that, then we take this, this is where I messed up. I was taking these horizontal bands and taking them to the center. No, we want to go in the center and take these horizontal bands back to themselves like that. Okay, so now that's nice because it opens it up for us here, so we do the same and take that over to itself. Now, when I was practicing, or the first one that I made, I kept forgetting to roll over these bands. So I'm going to just do mine. Every time I place that band, I'm just going to roll it over. So then we take that second one up and I'm going to go ahead and just take that bottom up and over, and then the one that goes to the right, and I'm just going to go ahead and take it now up and over. Okay, and then our next step is just to take the horizontal bands out. Like that. And then these bands. So that's what I didn't say earlier. This is the band that I loomed incorrectly. So like I said, instead of taking these out, I loomed them in. So if you want to try it and see what, it's a pretty cool little design it came out with. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker. And I think you guys will be good. I can go off camera and we can loom the rest of these up and start on our next step, which I believe is the zigzags. Okay, so let's finish that up. We'll meet back here in a second. All right, so we have the whole center part done, and our next step is going to be doing the zigzags. So first we need to come in here and take out our border. And then we want to take the first of the single chain going up, we want to take that one up back to itself. Okay, so then that clears this bottom part, and now we can start here. So we want to come, oops, I'm sorry, then we want to take the other end of the border and take that one out as well, and then that will be our acting cap band for our first zigzag. Okay, so we want to go in here and take this band and pull it back to itself there, and do the same on this side, right there. And then it's just the same going as a normal way that we loom our zigzags. They're all going back to themselves. So where you stop, you begin the next one. Okay, so same thing on this side. Come into this peg, pull it out, pull it in, out, and then in. Okay, so let's finish up. Oops, I grabbed the wrong one. So on these pegs here, there's 2 bands left. There's the band that we're pulling on the zigzags, which is every other pin, and then we have our horizontal, or I'm sorry, our single chain. So you should have 1 band left on this center. Okay, so let's work on that, and then we'll move on to our next step. Alright, we got 2 more steps to go, and I think we can kind of do them together and then meet back for close up. So it is just the 2 single chains going up the center first, and then we come back down and we just do the perimeter bands last. Okay, so we can start here in this pig since we already loomed forward the single band there. So that should be the last band on that peg. So definitely make sure that it is. In case you skipped one, you can kind of finagle it in there. Okay, so we want to loom those all the way up, and then when you're finished, we're going to come back down, start here on the last or the first peg, and do the same on the border here. So essentially it's 4 single chains getting looped up. Okay, and the same over here. I think you guys will be good with that. And then close up as normal, take it in, put a C-clip on, and we can go ahead and pull it off the loom, and we'll meet back here. Alright, so here is the Bora bracelet pulled off the loom. I did go ahead and straighten out some bands and with my seed beads, but I left a little section we could do together. So if you did put beads on, I was just leaving the bead where it was. This is just how I do mine. And then I straighten out the bands. If they're curled up, I find it easier to do when the seed bead is on one end. So, just doing that. And then take the seed bead, pull it up, hold one side of the band, and pull it to the center. Always make sure that you're using beads that will slide across your bands because it is inevitable you're going to have to move them after it's loomed. I pretty much used, except the border, a band that I had to straighten, and I'm not a fan of straightening bands. Alright, so I'm sure you get the point. And we want to thank Rainbow Loom Adventures for another really cool design. It was fun to make. And be sure that you give her a follow if you're not already on Instagram. And hashtag your renditions so we can see other combos that you guys come up with. I really love this one. I think it came out really awesome. Pretty cool. Pretty proud of myself. Not really good with colors. Okay, again, Bora bracelet, or Bora bracelet. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.